SIA Philomen Raj, MSc, MPhil PhD, retired head Department of Physics, Madras Christian College, Tambaram, Chennai. He is presently serving as a guest lecturer in Loyola College, Nungambakkam, Chennai. He has a teaching experience of 35 years in Madras Christian College for UG and PG students. His field of research is nuclear physics and he's presented about 30 papers in symposia organized by Baba Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. He has guided 50 MPhil students and about 100 MSc students in their projects. He has authored practical physics books for MSc and BSc courses. He is presently engaged in writing a book on nuclear physics for Printhias Hall, India.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in physics. We shall continue with nuclear and particle physics. In this session, we will be discussing in detail about cosmic rays, its nature and properties. Cosmic rays, nature and properties. So, cosmic rays are high energy particles coming from outer space. From elsewhere, it is coming towards the earth. So, they strike the earth with almost velocity of light. The velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. This will be about 2 into 10 power 8. So, we have got the different velocities. With high energy, they strike the earth. So, it contains protons, electrons, positrons and nuclei of atoms, different nuclei of the atoms. Cosmic ray energy, it will be in MeV and GeV, large high energy particles. So, when they discovered this cosmic ray, so we have got gold leaf electroscope, we have got a gold leaf electroscope which discharges with radiation. It is a vacuum chamber in which two gold plates are put together, gold plates, they are both are metals. So, when a charged particle enters, they get charged up and then they will separate. So, they will discharge, and when a particle comes, they will discharge. This was the arrangement made for studying the radiation. The rate of discharge is a measure of radiation. So, you charge up. So, if you charge up both positive and positive, the two leaves will be separated, and when a radiation falls, they will discharge. So, they discharge, the rate of discharge is a measure of radiation. If it is a large radiation, it will discharge very fast. Electroscope is an instrument for studying the radiation. So, the electroscope discharged even without any radiation. So, normally this was used for studying the radiation in the lab, alpha, beta, gamma. So, when the radiation comes, the gold leaf will discharge. We are not going to detail about the working of gold leaf. It is an instrument to study. So, it will discharge. What they found is, without any radiation source in the lab, it was discharging, no alpha, beta, gamma source. But even then, when you go out and come, you see it is discharging, which means there is some other radiation which is entering the lab or entering the earth. So, the electroscope discharged even without any radiation nearby. So, they found that the reason must be background radiation, and when you say background radiation, it must be cosmic, coming from outside the world. So, the radiation increases with altitude. So, what they found out, because it is from the outside world, in a balloon experiment, they put the instrument for measuring, and they found that it is varying with altitude, and when you go higher and higher, it is increases with altitude, which means definitely the radiation is coming from, not from inside the earth, from outside the earth, that is cosmos. Therefore, the origin is outer space. So, the balloon experiments during 1930 and 50 confirmed that the cosmic radiations are coming from outer space. So, then they found out, is there any effect on the latitude. So, the cosmic ray are charged particles. Therefore, they must be affected by magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field. Any charged particle, when there is a magnetic field and a charged particle is coming here, it will be deflected. It will be making a circular motion. So, it must be deflected. So, they wanted to see whether it is making any curvature as they enter the Earth's magnetic field. Now, we know the Lorentz force, we have to use the left hand, and the forefinger will represent the magnetic field, and the middle finger current, and this one thumb. And we know that the Lorentz force F is equal to BQV sin theta. where B is the magnetic field and Q is the velocity of the charge of the particle and the velocity of the particle, and BQV sin theta is the Lorentz force. So, the force must be depending on theta, because there is sin theta here. What is the theta? Theta is the angle between B and V, magnetic flux density and V, where B is the direction of Earth's magnetic field, and when you say outside the Earth, the magnetic field is from south to north, it is moving towards the north direction. Any magnetic needle will be showing that way, north. And then V is the velocity of the particle. We are near the equator, so it is suppose that is the north direction. So, the magnetic field is from south to north. The particles are entering from outer space. When it is entering near the equator, what is the angle? The velocity of the particle is vertically down. Maybe in Chennai it is just vertically down, and the magnetic field is horizontal. Magnetic field is horizontal. So, it is 90 degree. The particles, it is perpendicular to magnetic field. When it is perpendicular, it is maximum, theta equal to 90 degree. Therefore, when theta equal to 90 degree, the Lorentz force will be maximum. When the particles are parallel to magnetic field, no deflection. When they are parallel, there is no deflection. Now, here you go to the poles, north pole and south pole. In the north pole, the magnetic field will be in this direction, and the particle is also entering along that direction. Therefore, it will be theta equal to 0. So, what we conclude is, near the equator there will be maximum Lorentz force, whereas near the north pole or south pole there is no Lorentz force, because theta equal to 0. So, this is the diagram we are giving. This is north pole and south pole, and the magnetic field is in this direction. So, here near the equator you find this magnetic field is horizontal, that is parallel to the surface of the earth everywhere, and the particles are moving in this direction. Therefore, the angle between this magnetic field and the particle is 90 degree. So, maximum Lorentz force will be here, whereas if you consider particles entering the north pole, so here magnetic field is vertical and also the particles are coming in the vertical direction. Therefore, theta equal to 0. Similarly, in the south pole. So, the cosmic ray intensity varies with the latitude. At equator, we get minimum intensity, theta equal to 90 degree. That is theta equal to 90 degree, Lorentz force is maximum. Therefore, because of the Lorentz force, the particles are driven away. Therefore, what reaches the intensity that reaches the earth equator is minimal. So, it is minimum. At poles, maximum intensity, because at poles there is no Lorentz force. Therefore, the particles without any deflection, they enter with the full intensity. Therefore, it is maximum intensity. So, this is what they expected and this is what they observed. So, this is cosmic ray intensity and this is geomagnetic latitude, and here this is 0 near the equator, and here we are just taking for plus 50 minus 50 from the equator. So, here we get minimum intensity, and when you go to the north pole or to the south pole, we get the maximum intensity. So, this is what that is because of the Lorentz force. We get the east-west asymmetry. Now, here the cosmic ray particles are charged particles, and Lorentz force, we have been talking about Lorentz force, and the Lorentz force, how to remember that, just use your left hand and the forefinger will be the magnetic field direction and the thumb will be the direction of force, and the middle finger will be the direction of current. So, that is what we have drawn in the diagram. You just put your left hand and see, you will be able to understand this. For you to remember which is magnetic field, the forefinger normally will be showing if anyone is asking for a route, we will be showing your forefinger, go this way, that way, we show your forefinger. So, that will be the direction of magnetic field, north, south, all that you say. So, this is the direction of magnetic field, forefinger, and the of the three fingers, thumb is the strongest one. For putting a drawing pin, we use thumb. Therefore, this is the strongest pin. So, you remember the strongest finger represents force. What is left out is the middle finger, that is current. So, you just for you to remember, I am just telling. So, this will be the current direction, this will be the magnetic field direction, this will be the force direction. So, what we have explained, I have written here, cosmic ray are charged particles. Direction of deflection depends on the charge. Use Fleming's left hand rule. The forefinger gives the magnetic field. That is because we show the direction with forefinger. So you can remember that way. Middle finger is for represents current, and thumb represents the force, direction of force. That is the strongest finger using for putting a drawing pin for you to remember. Now we will just go further. The particle is entering the earth. Suppose this is I am talking about earth here. Particle is entering the earth from outer space. So the magnetic field will be, I am just putting my finger in the north direction of the earth. And where do you find the force? Force is towards my right, which means it is eastern direction. So it, as it is entering the earth, the forefinger, this is the magnetic field. Middle finger represents the current, which means the direction of the charged particles moving, which represents current, and this will be the force. Therefore, what we observe is, as the particle moves towards earth, charged particles move towards earth, there is a force towards eastern direction, force towards eastern direction. So what you observe is, suppose I take a detector, cosmic ray detector, I will put the window this way and see how much radiation is coming. I will put the window this way, see how much radiation is coming. What you expect now, because it is moving towards east direction, so the particles, cosmic ray particles will be moving from west to east. That will be the direction, west to east. If you put the detector this way, intensity is minimum. So the particles are moving from west to east. Again, it is from Lorentz force. So this we have just put it in words. So the middle finger, direction of particles entering the earth. For positive charge particles, the force is towards the right, right side, that is eastern direction. So the intensity will be from west to east. Suppose it is negatively charged particles, intensity will be reverse. It will be from east to west. This is for the positive charged particles. So it will be from east to west. Therefore, we get east-west asymmetry. Now this is what we expected, and they did the experiment. Different scientists went to different parts of the world, and they observed more intensity from west to east. That is according to this figure, west to east, which means cosmic ray particles, most of them are positively charged particles. Therefore, cosmic ray are mostly containing positively charged particles. So that is a latitude effect. Similarly, if you go to altitude effect, they found that the cosmic ray intensity, we put in the y axis, altitude, that is from the sea level. It goes altitude, we are going to different places. And what they did is, all in 1930 to 50, with balloon experiments they sent. So they will be recording at different altitudes. And they found that at 25 kilometers, it is maximum. It is maximum at 25 kilometers. After that, it again decreases. So as the balloon goes up, we find the intensity increasing at 25 kilometer maximum and then decreasing. And also we just incorporate latitude effect also. In latitude, what we said, because of the Lorentz force, the intensity will be minimum near the equator. So Chennai is near equator, 3 degree north. Texas is 35 degree north, and Canada is 60 degree north. Therefore, what we found is, for even at 25 kilometers, Chennai is having, that is near the equator, the intensity is minimum. Chennai has got minimum, Texas has got slightly higher, and Canada has got a larger intensity. So for a given altitude, there we find that latitude effect coming into picture. So near the equator, the intensity is minimum. So we will put in words. So intensity increases with altitude, and maximum at 25 kilometer height. Primary cosmic ray, mainly protons. What is coming from the outside world is primarily protons. Only then we get something else. We'll go into the next slide and we will find. And we will come back to this. The 25 kilometer is the height of the atmosphere. We have got air from the surface of the earth. Air is there up to 25 kilometers. Beyond 25 kilometers, we get almost a vacuum. Therefore, there the particles come, and when they enter the atmosphere, they get maximum. You get the maximum there, because they interact with the atmosphere and produce more particles. So we will come to that in the next slide. They interact with the atmosphere at 25 kilometers, and therefore they produce secondary particles E plus and E minus. So, the primary particles what is coming from outside world cosmos is mainly proton. When they interact with the atmosphere has got nitrogen and oxygen gases. So, when they interact, it produces secondary particles E plus, E minus, gamma, all that. So, that is the reason we get maximum intensity at 25 kilometers, because that is the barrier where it strikes the atmosphere. So, therefore, maximum intensity we get at that point. As particle move towards earth, they lose energy. So, after that they lose energy, and therefore the intensity decreases. So, here we get maximum, and as we go towards the sea level, intensity decreases, because the energy, as the particle travels, it will lose energy. So, it decreases, and at sea level it is almost 0. So, the near equator less intensity, that is because of the Lorentz force. The Lorentz force will be deflecting the particles near the equator, and that is why we get latitude effect also coming into picture. Chennai is closer to equator, therefore it is having less intensity for all latitudes. We talk about primary and secondary cosmic rays. Already it is only what we have just discussed. The particles which are coming from outer space, mainly they are protons. So, they are primary. When they enter the atmosphere is a height of 25 kilometers from the sea level. When they enter there, they will strike all the nitrogen and oxygen elements, gases, and then they produce a shower with different particles. They are called secondary. So, we will just go in detail. Primary from outer space, mostly protons, and the energy will be in GeV. G is 10 power 9. Secondary at 25 kilometer altitude, that is the altitude of, that is where atmosphere starts. Therefore, 25 kilometer we get secondary particles, because when it strikes it will scatter and different particles are produced. So, protons collide with atmospheric gases like oxygen and nitrogen. This collision gives proton, neutron, mesons, hyperons. Hyperons are high energy particles of larger mass, larger than proton and neutron. So, these secondary cosmic ray particles travel towards the earth. So, they will travel towards the earth. They are produced at 25 kilometers height, and they will be traveling towards the earth, but as they travel they will be losing the energy. So, these secondary cosmic ray particles travel toward earth. At altitude 25 to 15 we get hard cosmic rays, hard because they are high energy. So, up to 10 kilometers they will be able to lose some energy, but they are still strong enough, high energy. Therefore, they are called hard cosmic rays from 25 to starting of the atmosphere to 15 kilometer from the sea level, hard cosmic ray. They lose energy, and at sea level we get soft cosmic ray. When it comes to sea level, it has travelled a distance of 25 kilometers, they will lose the energy, they are called soft cosmic rays. Now, we go to cosmic ray shower. Same thing what we have just studied. So, once they enter the atmosphere, different particles are produced, we get a shower. So, cosmic ray shower is nothing but group of particles, and they are called shower. So, this was observed in cloud chamber and GM counter. From 1930 to 1950, balloon experiments were sent. That is the time, that is what they started calling us modern physics. Now, we do not call it as modern, because nearly 100 years have gone. So, those time it was called modern physics, about the study of cosmic ray and the new physics. So, this was observed in cloud chamber using balloon experiments and also using GM counter. We have already studied about the working of cloud chamber, GM counter, all of them for detection of charged particles, nuclear radiation particles. The high energy photon hitting a detector, already we said in the particle after they enter the atmosphere we get high energy gamma rays also, neutron, proton, gamma ray also. This gamma ray, when it hits hitting any material, it will produce electron positron pair, that is called pair production, E plus and E minus. Now here this gamma ray, they will even hit the detector window, like window of the GM counter or window of the cloud chamber. So it will come and hit that. Once it hits that, it will convert into E plus and E minus. That is what pair production. High energy photon hitting a detector produces electron positron pair. So already we have studied about pair production, gamma ray, high energy gamma ray, which is chargeless photon. When it hits a material or any target, it will produce E plus and E minus. So equation wise, the energy, the charge, initially the charge is 0, and after the pair production we get E plus and E minus. So the net total charge is 0. So the charge is conserved in that. So the energy should also be conserved. The high energy gamma ray coming here, that will produce E plus and E minus. Now what is the mass of electron? Mass of electron in terms of MeV, it is 0.5, about slightly more than 0.5. 0.5 MeV is the rest mass energy of electron. Similarly, positron rest mass energy is same, 0.5, slightly more than 0.5 MeV. Now in order to produce pair, we require 0.5 plus 0.5, about 1 MeV. 1 MeV energy is required to produce the E plus E minus pair. Therefore, the gamma ray which enters should have slightly more than 1 MeV. Only then the E plus E minus production is possible. And from the cosmic ray radiation, we get gamma rays of very large energy, even more than 1 MeV, very large energy we get. Therefore, we get lots of E plus E minus electron positron pair produced. So the process continues until the energy falls below the threshold. Threshold is, as we said, approximately 0.5 plus 0.5, 1 MeV. So the threshold, actual calculation, the threshold will be 1.02 MeV is the threshold for E plus E minus pair production. That is the energy required. Now the cosmic radiation, when it is very large, they will be producing more number of pairs, and therefore we talk about here, we get the shower. The process continues until the energy falls below the threshold. This is the threshold. Now this is how we get shower. We will see in the next slide. We get the particle, any nucleus, and then we get different types of particles emitted, E plus E minus, all that particles emitted here. So this is primary particle, for example ion nucleus. So after some interaction, then we get pion decay, then secondary interaction. So interaction goes on, and that is why we get a shower. See, it is hitting a nitrogen gas, we get oxygen and nitrogen. So it's that, and another one, it's oxygen. Atmosphere consists mainly of nitrogen and oxygen. They produce different types of particle, including this gamma. So that's why we get a shower of particles. Now something is called Van Allen belt. Van Allen belt. So what they observed is, when you move from Earth at some height, you find that some large intensity of radiation. Say in balloon experiments, they sent up to 20-25 kilometers, they have sent, and they have 25 to 30 kilometers height. They found that up to 25 it is maximum and then decreasing. That is what they observed. With balloon experiments, that was possible. Later on, with rockets, they were able to go further. Up to only 25 kilometers, these balloon experiments will go, because the balloon, it goes up to the end of the atmosphere. After that, it cannot go into the vacuum. Therefore, it has to float and stay there. It is like, suppose maybe a balloon you take, underwater you put, under a sea water you put, or a swimming pool you put. So it will go up, it will come up to the surface, and then it can't go into the atmosphere. It can't go. Similarly, we have got this balloon experiments. Balloon has to move up only in the atmosphere. Up to 25 kilometers it can go, and after that, because there is no air, it will stop there. So they were not able to study. But later on, with the rockets, they were able to study further distance. Now we will see what is the outcome of that. So cosmic ray particles trapped, they found that at one point they were all, when you go to, we will see what is the height. When you go to that height, the particles are trapped. So here again, you think about Lorentz force. Lorentz force we said. So you have to use your left hand. This is the direction of current, and this is the forefinger, already we discussed. It is the direction of the magnetic field. This is the direction of the direction of force. Now when the particle, as it enters near the equator, we find the magnetic field in this direction, particle entering this way, force will be in this direction. Therefore it will be circulating. So it will be circulating there. It will be circulating there. So the particle will move, and therefore it will start circulating. That is what we are trying to explain here. So as the particle is entering in this direction, the magnetic field is this way. You just use your forefinger, magnetic field is this way, and we have got the particle will have the force towards this direction. That is what we have drawn the direction there, and then it will be thrown out. It will be bent towards the right, and it will go out. So still the earlier diagram you remember, as the particle enters the earth, it will be moving towards my right side, moving towards my right. Therefore it is moving that way. So this is the magnetic field. We have just shown on one direction, both sides we get similarly. So here, as the particles enter, they will be trapped. They will be trapped here. They can't enter the earth. They will be trapped here. And similarly, the particle entering here will be trapped here. The particle entering here will be trapped here. As a result, we have not shown in figure. So it will be like helical. It will be everywhere. Everywhere we get particles circulating there. That field where we get large intensity particles circulating, that is called Van Allen belt. Van Allen is the name of the scientist who observed this, Van Allen belt. So now we will just see what is that Van Allen belt. Cosmic particles trapped by Earth's magnetic field and form a belt called Van Allen belt. So this is a belt. It will be a belt. It is called Van Allen belt. Observed by artificial satellites. As we said, balloon experiments were not able to perform. Artificial satellites. Belt formed around the earth except poles. Everywhere it is formed, not at the poles, because at the poles, as we said, Lorentz force is not existing there. There is no force there. Only here we get Lorentz force, therefore we get trapped. So now what is the height? So the Van Allen belt, it is from 3200 kilometer to 16,000 kilometer. So this is the height. Balloon experiments were performed only up to 30 kilometer or 25 kilometers. Here it is with the satellites using rockets, they were able to do this. Now here, as we said, the Van Allen belt, in the rocket observation, they found that as we move away from the earth, this is, as we said, 3200 kilometers, and then when you go 16,000, you find there is a region. So this is called outer zone, and then we get inner zone. So the inner zone, see, this is the inner zone. Inner zone is closer to earth. Inner zone are high energy protons, and the outer zone are low energy electron. This is low energy electron. Why is it so? They found. So this is again from the Lorentz force. So as they enter, they will be driven away. Now all particles are coming. Those particles which have got less energy will be easily driven away. Only particles with high energy cannot be easily driven away. They will still further come towards earth and then will be driven away. Therefore, these particles, low energy, they are in the outer zone. Because of low energy, they are easily driven away. And high energy, they persist coming inside the earth, and then later on they are driven away. And therefore, this is called outer zone with low energy, inner zone with high energy. So inner zone, high energy proton, and the outer zone, low energy electron. Why it is low energy? Because that is easily turned away because of the low energy. So this is the Van Allen belt, outer zone and inner zone. So the Van Allen belt gives protection near the equator. So near the equator, we get protection. That is, the cosmic radiations do not enter near the equator, and that is why we get all vegetation, all type of vegetation near the equator, because there is no cosmic radiation. Whereas in the north and south poles, they are not protected. The cosmic radiations easily enter the north pole and south pole, and therefore we don't have so much of vegetation there. And in Antarctica, you find, Antarctica is the south pole, where you find penguin birds. They are able to survive the cosmic radiations there. And outcome of this balloon experiments, they found that already we stated in the GM counter, they were able to find out E plus and E minus, and also in the Wilson's cloud chamber sentinel balloon experiments, E plus and E minus. So, the E plus, that positron E plus was predicted by Dirac much earlier, and then it was in cosmic ray shower it was detected, and therefore Nobel was given for Dirac for prediction of positron. Now, we will just summarize. So, we have discussed in detail about latitude effect, east west asymmetry, altitude effect, cosmic ray shower and Van Allen belt, and in all these cases you remember the Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule you remember, and you will be able to understand the observations. So, we will have a few questions for the day. Explain latitude and altitude effects of cosmic rays. With the diagram, explain the azimuthal effect of cosmic rays. Azimuthal effect is nothing but east west asymmetry. East and towards west was not equal to what is coming towards the east. So, that is called azimuthal effect. Explain the origin of cosmic ray shower and Van Allen belt. Thank you.